First time in a long time, but it seems like just yesterday when we were side by side. Beast mode, no one's blocking our way. These other guys tried it, but them man ain't got the skills of Braden and Davie, brazen and raging, bringing you the thrills and spills. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady, DVP, the BDElite. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady, DVP, the BDElite.
Hello.
Hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for BDElite. We are wherever you found us on your podcast app, online, or
live on twitch.tv/upNXT and youtube.com/upNXT.
Yes, hello. Yeah, we are your NXT friends. But we are your wrestling friends. Or as Sting says earlier tonight on Dynamite, the enemy of my enemy is my friends. He almost said it like that.
Yeah.
We'll chat about some Dynamite because that's what we do on this show. And it's a big weekend for wrestling.
Huge weekend for wrestling. We've got about 21 matches announced for All Out across the pre-show and the main show. We've got Clash at the Castle. We've got NXT Worlds Collide. Fucking GCW doing anything? I don't know. There's a lot of wrestling going on.
There's so many matches on the All-Out card. Leonardo DiCaprio would date it.
Yeah. No, that would be too many.
Well, 21.
21, I guess.
It's fine, yeah. Sorry. We're going to chat about this. We talked about a few times already, but we are going to be doing a big wrestling show with John Away this Sunday. So after All Out ends, we're going to be live on YouTube with Post, and then the audio will go up on their feed. So go look for that because we will be covering mostly All Out and a little bit of Worlds Collide. So a lot of wrestling. But we will be going live for a watch-along for Worlds Collide. So come hang out and watch some wrestling with us for that show. So a big day of wrestling. Also Clash of the Castle is on Saturday. So lots of wrestling happening. And we will be at Dynamite next week in Buffalo. So let us know if you're around and want to get some drinks.
Yeah, so we won't be going live next Wednesday after Dynamite. We'll probably get something up on the Thursday talking about our experience at Buffalo for AEW.
Yeah, look for us in the second row.
Yeah.
So we'll be having some fun. And then you're doing Grand Slam as well, which I think is clear as day. The match is the singles match between Will and Kenny. I mean, that has to be what they're gearing towards. Dream match.
I'd assume so.
2 years in a row for sure. Kenny with the dream matches coming back to life here. So we're going to be covering some wrestling, and we kind of mentioned on upNXT this week that we're going to be going to both nights in Toronto, in our hometown, just a hip and a skip away from us. What is it? Hop and a jump. Away from us?
Yeah,
pretty much.
Coca-Cola
Arena, and we're going to be going to both nights and enjoying some wrestling. We got some of our listeners, some of our friends coming in to hang out and watch some wrestling, and maybe we'll announce it this Sunday, but we have a Dynamite post party, meaning when Dynamite ends, we're going to do some...
Let's not announce anything until we know for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we do know for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Why are you in a bad mood all of a
I'm
sudden?
not in a bad mood. I just don't like announcing things and then letting people down. We'll be doing something. But yeah.
We got some big things planned for that week, so stay tuned and follow our socials and all that stuff, especially if you are in the Toronto area. We recorded some other shows this week. We recorded a special Was Next on our Patreon. That's going to be coming out. I'm going to put it out, I think, on Friday morning. And that's covering the first time Chris Jericho and Daniel Bryan, fought each other on the first ever episode of NXT. Back when it was a game show, they had a match. Remember that? When Danielson was Mrs. Rookie?
Yeah, way back, February 2010.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan, Chris Jericho.
So we're chatting all about the first ever episode of NXT on this edition. That definitely sets the tone to see some of the wrestling was really great between the two. And we could talk about the history of that match and leading into this big match at the pay-per-view that I think is absolutely going to just bang, because Jericho has been on this great run. He manages to reinvent himself, and Danielson is the best wrestler. I think they'll bring the great stuff out of each other for this stuff. And I like the whole angle with Garcia. They're fighting. He's the like kid in the divorce essentially or something. I love that storyline. But yeah, we're gonna be chatting all about that. So that'll be out on our Patreon. Our man Neil, who is a world champ patron over at our Patreon, meaning world champs get to pick stuff. Well, our man Neil has picked some pretty fun movies before. He's picked some Star Trek in the past, but now he's picked A Few Good Men.
Yeah, the Aaron Sorkin film with Jack Nicholson,
Tom Cruise,
with Tom Cruise,
Maverick,
Keith Sutherland, Kevin Bacon, Demi Moore. It's we recorded this show earlier today. Great chat with Neil. Really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, so it's kind of out of the ballpark of which we usually watch some pretty silly stuff. So it's more of a more serious acting, and it's a pretty sweet movie. So we'll be chatting all about that. That'll be out. I'll probably put it out later. I was supposed to put it up, but we recorded it pretty late. So I'll be up by tomorrow. Out on the Patreon. Go check us out, because it's the beginning of the month, and $5 for North American tier means you get access to all these podcasts and everything that we've done in the past there, meaning Best Match Ever, Daniel Bryan, Best Match Ever, Rey Mysterio, we just did recently. All these shows are out there, and you get access to everything. And we would love for you to check out some of the stuff that we do, because we like recording podcasts.
We do, and we've got so much more coming out next month as well. We'll be dropping that schedules for you all to see tomorrow as well, because tomorrow's first of the month, so sign up. Only $5, patreon.com/upNXT.
Yeah, we got some great stuff happening, and then we will be going live on the 14th during the day with a special kind of year in review of NXT 2.0, the first year in of the big switch up, and I believe you've invited some friends to talk about this.
We have, we've got some special guests lined up for that show, and we'll be going live at 1 p.m. on YouTube and Twitch, it should be a big show, getting to kind of see everything that's happened since that first episode of 2.0, where we were introduced to the likes of Von Wagner, Bron Breakker, Tony D'Angelo,
casino players, poker players. I mean,
all of that. Should be a fun show.
Yeah. So all the stuff, follow the socials, join that Facebook page, but leads you to the Facebook group, the upNXT group, and join in on that stuff as well. But we appreciate all the support and everything out there. We're excited for lots of wrestling coming up in the next little while, including this show from Chicago, because they don't get enough wrestling over there.
They're back. It's been a while.
It's been far too long.
It's been a couple of months, hasn't
it? Months? It probably hasn't. I feel like
Forbidden Door was last month, wasn't it?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, pretty much. So we go back to... Actually, you know what? This isn't Chicago. This is Hoffman Estates.
Yeah.
Really, but bless them. We start off Dynamite with a hot Jon Moxley coming out, announced as the AEW Undisputed World Champion. And, I mean, hot off the huge, swerve last week with Moxley just absolutely destroying CM Punk. I think it had a lot of people talking with the weeks to breathe out from last week. It did a lot of views on their social media and YouTube and stuff. Yeah,
I mean, I'd kind of give my thoughts after this. But, I think coming into this week, a lot of head scratching from people.
Yeah.
But let things play out, I've been enjoying this.
Yeah, me too. Well, he gets a pretty great reaction here. He comes out and he talks about how, he knows that the crowd here is chanting for CM Punk as well. And he says that I thought Punk was the 60-minute man, but clearly that's BS, because I still had 57 minutes left in the tank for me last week. And he says that he pushed Punk to the limit. And, last week I figured out exactly who Punk is. And Punk was just looking for a way out, and he folded. And then the crowd cheered for him even more. And he's like, yeah. I know you love your boy here, Chicago, but they're still wiping the floor with him back in Cleveland from last week, as the crowd kind of comes in here for this one. But split crowd and hot crowd for this here. He then says that Punk is going to curl into a ball and die. And like he said, he folded. And turns out he couldn't be what you all wanted him to be. And I have no sympathy for CM Punk. And he has a fragile ego, a fragile body, and a weak mind, and now a weak spirit too. And then he pulls out a contract and says that he's got a match for All Out to face him for the title for anyone who wants it. So whoever you are, you can come and grab this contract, and I don't care who it is. In fact, I give far fewer you-know-whats who it is. So he leaves this contract out in the ring, and when he leaves, later we see producer here at AEW, Ace Steel, goes into the ring and grabs the contract and kind of runs out. But,
scuttles away.
Yeah. But pretty sweet promo from Jon Moxley. I mean, no surprise, but
Awesome promo. It's very interesting because this Moxley promo isn't anything unlike any promos he's ever cut. We've seen AEW sometimes, like when Danielson came out to confront Page, and it was just a sudden like 180 with his character.
yeah.
Mox isn't like that. He always just says it how he is. He doesn't care if you're a babyface, a heel. Chicago's a wrestling crowd. Mox has been on this incredible run. They're going to want to cheer him.
Yeah.
But it's against his boy as well. I think anyone else who hasn't had quite the same run as Mox right now would have been all boos here.
For sure.
But a lot of what he said, it's like, yeah, you're kind of right as well. I think it was awesome. It added more fuel to this fire that they've been building between the two. Mox just sounds great. I love how he's just pissed off all the time and like loves this business and hurting people and just I killed him. I'm sorry. Like it's what I did. Like he sucks. No, I thought this was an awesome way to open the show.
Yeah, broken record because like definitely been saying it for 3 years now, but like this guy has become like one of my favorite talkers, and I absolutely hated him before that.
Yeah.
And it's just so crazy that now I'm so looking forward to seeing him on my screen every week. But he is to me, and this whole show has that vibe. It reminds me of those older episodes of Raw, like back in the day, even like Attitude Era. Like, you know, you always see Triple H run out, talk some shit, and then later on someone else comes out and talks some shit. So then, well, hold on, now I got to go back and I got to talk some shit. Like it was very fluid, like a whole show, like that makes this big angle feel like the biggest thing.
I think as well because it's been a lot of storytelling to tell in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
I felt we maybe got like three weeks worth of segments this week between these.
Yeah.
And sure, like you could do it the traditional way and do it like that. I like that it's been a bit unorthodox, this whole build for this match, and including, I think the win made sense last week for Mox because I think he needed this reign to be legitimized because he's been great.
Yeah.
So I think the eventual match does feel bigger now.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
Start kicking things off with this promo. Really held my interest.
He has a great intensity. He's very. I know people compare him to Stone Cold, but it's like that. Like he walks in with the swagger and the attitude, like I don't give a fuck, I'm a badass.
Does his shit and leaves.
Yeah. Arise, what is it? Arrive,
raise hell, leave.
Exactly. We then go to Jericho backstage, who mentions his match, the Lionheart versus the American Dragon at All Out, and he says that he was hurt that Danielson said that Stu and Owen Hart would say you're a better wrestler, but no, it's not true. They would pick me, and I will beat you like I've beaten you before. And that's when Garcia shows up, and Garcia says to Jericho, look, I'm sorry for what happened last week. I just wanted to let you know that I will pledge my allegiance to the JAS, and I got your back. Jericho says, well, thank you, Garcia, and says that up next is Hager versus Danielson, and well, Danielson, all is fair in wrestling and romance, so watch your back, meaning we're gonna fuck you up before your match, which leads us to the next match. But cool little promo here, and the story of Garcia kind of like planting this seed here, like, hey, I'm sorry, but then also not.
Yeah, I liked as well how he was, Stu and Owen would probably appreciate your wrestling more, but you look at the amount of achievements I've got, of course they'll pick me.
Yeah.
Like, you can't, it's undeniable.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You've done everything there is to do.
Yeah. I thought this was a great little promo, which leads us to Danielson versus Hager one-on-one. Regal joins the commentary and flirts with Excalibur.
Every week, yeah.
You were telling me, did you see that clip where
there's the Twitter video
Yeah.
of like a compilation of him calling him a little treacle tart and scrumptious and wants to pop him in his mouth like a marshmallow. And then the very last clip is Caprice Coleman going, "Hey, come on now, we got a good match going on here."
The Regalisms are just out in the open
Yeah.
now. We talked about it on
It's
our
such a hidden secret for a long time.
Again, going back to us doing What's Next, like we've been doing Retro NXT, and Regal was on commentary for a lot of the shows we've done. And if you listen or know, the Regalisms are a big thing. And now they're out there and they're living it. The Regalisms are real. Well, Hager just starts messing up Danielson here. Every time Danielson hits him with something or runs at him, he gets caught by him and gets slammed around. And then finally on the outside, Hager catches him again and then runs with him all the way, sending Danielson crashing through a table. And then they go to picture-in-picture when it's just more of Hager just throwing Danielson, tossing him, slamming him down, attacking the back. And when we come back, Danielson eventually fights back with a series of forearms, runs the ropes, and eventually hits his huge running like forearm elbow strike. And then a series of roundhouse kicks, just leveling Hager. And then when Hager, you think, gets back in control, Danielson with the flying armbar, and then into a label lock, which Hager eventually reaches for the ropes and gets out of it. But when Hager is setting up for what looks to be some sort of like Hager bomb or something, Danielson escapes, runs at him with the Busaiku knee, and picks up the win on Jake Hager. But there is a beatdown after. But a pretty sweet match, and I think it served its purpose.
Yeah, very physical. Got Danielson that big win back because we haven't seen him. We've just had the Garcia matches so far, haven't we, since his return? You weren't ever buying Hager winning this thing, but I thought they had a nice match.
Yeah, probably one of the better Hager matches. Again, he was just the big guy to throw Danielson around to get his big win here. After the match, Jericho runs down and goes to use a steel chair to attack Danielson, but Daniel Garcia runs out and steals the chair away from Jericho, which Jericho is shocked, and he gets hit with the Busaiku as well. So Garcia now costing Jericho this beatdown and attack. Very interesting.
Yeah, I assume he's going to be involved somehow.
This was all a ruse that...
But also my one thing is Jericho feuds tend to go on forever.
Right.
I don't want to see Danielson. I'm looking forward to the match. I don't want to see Danielson feud with Jericho forever. So I kind of also would just like a clean, definitive win on Sunday.
Yeah.
So we can move on and put Danielson with maybe more interesting people. Don't get me wrong. I like Jericho. It's just, I'm thinking back to all his feuds. They go on for months usually.
Yeah. I mean, this is already the trickling of a feud with the group.
It's just Eddie's morphed into Danielson.
Yeah.
For it really, hasn't he?
I am super stoked for this. Again, doing we've seen them wrestle in tag matches or chamber matches or stuff like that, like odds and ends here, but never really one-on-one. And that's why we chose to do that old NXT episode review, because that match is a hidden gem. And it's like a quick match, but so good. And I am interested. Jericho's been on a run, man. And I do see Garcia, it could go one of two ways. They've announced next week in Garcia's a Buffalo kid, and he's facing Wheeler Yuta for the Pure title.
Yeah.
Next week, we're going to be there. I'm super excited for that match. But depending on how Sunday goes, he could be going into that, obviously getting cheered, but is he going in also cheered or
with
booed?
JS?
Yeah, is he going in with, because if he's joining the Combat Club, is this like Cobra Kai? He's gonna beat Yuta.
He's gonna beat Yuta out of the group,
and Yuta goes, "Yo, what the fuck? You found your new rookie?" And he's gonna go over to JAS.
That could be cool.
That's just like Cobra Kai, right?
It's
the kids going from the gyms.
Yeah,
book it. They were booking this way, but we said they got some things up their mind. But yeah, I think Daniel Garcia wins the title.
But yeah, we were hoping for a big match in Buffalo, and we
love these guys.
We know these two have had killer matches in the past, so
love these guys.
This should be good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say anything tonight really added much more to this feud. This feud's felt ready. The Garcia element's interesting. But yeah, solid segment.
Yeah. We go to something we needed to hype up the pay-per-view this weekend. The Wingmen. Remember them? I can't remember who's in them.
It's is this Ryan Nemeth? It's Cesar Bononi. Was JD Drake there?
Yeah,
as
he
well?
was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and JD Drake.
And Peter Avalon. Is he in?
Was
No.
he in the? Was he?
I don't know. Is
Didn't
there
he
four
have
of
the?
them?
He had, what was the pretty picture? Is the
Pretty
pretty
picture?
Is the pretty picture and the wingmen the same thing?
Pretty picture. What's the pretty picture?
I'm pretty sure that was Peter Avalon and
Peter.
pretty
Oh,
picture.
Peter.
The pretty picture. Yeah.
Okay, so who's in the wingmen then?
Uh,
JD Drake.
so the pretty picture was Peter Avalon with JD Drake and
So wait.
Ryan Nemeth
Okay. So
and Cesar Bononi. So I think. Oh, is it like the dyad and the schism? It's
so Peter Avalon.
so when they're
Caesar
with
Bononi-
Peter Avalon, they're the pretty picture.
Got
but
you.
It's just the wingmen.
Got you. Okay.
I think.
All right.
Yeah. We haven't seen. With these. These are like the old Trustbusters, aren't they?
That's why they're on TV with. So these guys
They're
are in the ring with signs.
They're like season 2 Trustbusters.
Wow.
Aren't they?
Yeah. See, Trustbusters is the new. Yeah. Dark Order was the one before that.
Yeah.
So these guys are in the ring and they have signs like put wingmen on TV, like put us on TV. We want more screen time, essentially. And then they start cutting a promo, and then they all put their pinkies in. I do kind of like these guys actually. They're pretty funny. The four of them coming together is great. Like they could be way bigger. They could be super great enhancement talent.
You say they could be squashed more on TV.
Like look at what happened to the Acclaimed. That was
Yeah.
their spot. Stars now. Look at what happened to 2.0. I'd say stars now. Like somewhat here,
Yeah.
at least you could say that. So like
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
the same thing could happen to these guys as well. Well, they're interrupted because things are going to get even weirder as W.H. Morrissey comes out. Wait, what's this guy's name?
Just W. Morrissey.
W. Morrissey comes out. No, W.H. was at this show though.
WH was.
Yeah,
Big Morrissey fan as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was losing his mind.
I think so.
Someone was telling me.
I heard a real high-pitched scream when Morrissey came
Yeah,
out.
oh, it was him. Yeah, yeah. Someone told me they saw him arguing with the merch table because they didn't have any W. Morrissey T-shirts on hand,
Really?
and he's like, Why?" So yeah,
I
Big fan.
heard he was arguing with his waiter for serving the shittest looking breakfast I've ever seen. You go all the way to Chicago and you have that shit? Oh,
why
boy.
are we so mean?
Love you, WH. Hope you're having a lovely time.
Shout out Mike Murray.
Just eat better.
Life's too short to eat bad food.
Yeah, we had a killer steak earlier.
Yeah, we had a great time. Sorry, we're the wingmen.
We do love you, WH.
We do. Yeah, we do love WH. We're like the wingmen with WH.
We should. We need to wingman WH when he's back.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do.
I hope him and Mike are
Living it up.
being good. Yeah, wingmen.
Yeah. Maybe they'll go out and hang out with the wingmen later. That'd be
That'd
great.
be nice, wouldn't it?
WH hanging out with Caesar Bononi. I'm shocked I know that name. I know all of them. Wow.
Hey, NXT legend.
Yeah, true.
Cesar, yeah.
Speaking of NXT legends, W. Morrissey, a.k.a. Big
Big
Cass, he comes out. He's looking big jacked, actually. He comes out and beats the shit out of all these guys. And Stokely comes out. And then Tony Schiavone's like, "Hey, what's going on with you, Stokely?" And Stokely looks like he's about to beat the shit out of Tony Schiavone. Says it's none of your business. And it looks like he's gaining up. He's creating his own trust busters here. The Stoke
So he's got the
busters.
guns, he's got the baddies, and he's got W. Morrissey.
Sounds like the new Matt Hardy family
Yeah.
office.
Yeah. Just weird having this on this show.
Yeah.
This felt kind of maybe a first episode after a pay-per-view kind of thing.
Exactly.
If you're bringing in Morrissey.
Yeah.
Just seemed a little odd placement. He looks great. He looks in incredible shape. Just another big guy for people to go through. I can't say I'm overly excited
Yeah.
about it, but all right.
You can see he's improved.
He
He's
has
got super
improved,
jacked,
definitely.
So bless
And-
him. I'm surprised he wasn't back in WWE.
He's true.
Yeah.
True. We need another big man for people to kill, I guess.
Or him to beat up. Yeah, true, yeah. We go to backstage where Will Ospreay and the United Empire are being interviewed, and Ospreay is interrupted
Wearing
by
my shirt.
Yeah, he's wearing the Hannah Kimura shirt. R.I.P. Don Callis walks in to talk to Will and says that, you're Will Ospreay. Some people say you're the next Kenny Omega, but I say you're your own man. You should be Will by God Ospreay because you're that amazing. And Will kind of isn't having any of it and kind of tells him, like, please leave. So Don's like, yeah, all right. But, the Jackal being the Jackal here.
I completely see him turning on Kenny.
Yeah.
And joining Will.
Or is this all a
ruse.
red herring for because the story seems to be like Kenny is like, yeah, you're really good, but like I have more years experience. I'm
always a step ahead.
Yeah,
of you.
I'm always ahead of you. So you think
Yeah.
he's turning on me, like it's a whole thing. But maybe that's why Ospreay wasn't like nah, I don't want to talk to you. Just
Not
get out.
playing this game.
Yeah, I ain't doing that. Great little storytelling here that they definitely do well in AEW. And then it cuts to.
I think Callis has been missed as well. Like
He's good.
it works the act. He's so slimy.
Yeah, he's good
when he's with Kenny.
It's just Kenny's the babyface now, so it's kind of like weird. He wasn't out with them later, so it kind of doesn't make sense. Well, we go to our next match, and it involves the 4 competitors that are in the Fatal 4-Way match at the pay-per-view. And, whoa, sorry, one sec. Crap. We're missing a part of our show in the record.
It's all right. It's all one thing.
So we go to our next match, which is a Fatal 4-Way. Sorry, it's the 4 of them that are in the Fatal 4-Way.
Tag match from the Fatal 4-Way.
Yeah. So now it's Brit and Jamie versus Toni Storm and Hikaru Shida. And again, all 4 of them will be against each other in an elimination match for the interim women's championship.
It's elimination?
Is it, or is it just a Fatal
I think
4-Way?
you're getting confused with NXT.
This is true. You're true. You're right. Yeah, it's just a 4-Way. Yeah, you're right. It's just a 4-Way.
A lot of wrestling guys going on.
So this starts off with both Brit and Jamie just beating down on Toni Storm, and they keep tagging in and out and start isolating her. Jamie is in now. Buster. Shida is eventually tagged in, and she hits Jamie with this crazy looking spike like Hurricane Rana, which looked nasty here. And then she's in control when Britain finally comes in, and her and Shida are revisiting some old past here where they're going back and forth, exchanging different holds and countering each other. When eventually Toni comes in, they clear the ring, and she hits her hip attack on Jamie and then goes to the outside, and then leaving Shida and Brit alone in the ring. And in a crazy upset, Shida hits Brit with her like crazy flying spinning kick thing to the head, and
what's she called?
yeah, I always forget what they call it.
Tamashi?
Is that it?
Is that the one?
I always thought that was like the knee that she did.
Oh, yeah.
So I was confused when Excalibur called.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Since we've seen Shida.
Yeah. Shida pins Brit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty big. So that means Brit's winning on Sunday, right?
I think so.
Yeah, it was good to see Shida again. I feel it has been a while since we've seen her, but this feels so cold. Obviously, this wasn't the match they were building for. They were building for Thunder Rosa and Toni Storm, and things have happened there, whether it's a legit injury or losing a smile or a bit of both. That's moved on. But this just feels so cold, this whole feud.
Yeah.
This whole story. I can't say I'm interested. I think the 4 could pull off a
Exactly.
great match
Yeah,
at the
exactly.
weekend because they're all great.
Yeah. Even I got into this match too. It had some cool spots. I do think the match on Sunday will be even more crazier and have great interactions with the 4 of them.
It's just... Was this the only women's segment on the show?
I think so.
We didn't have anything from Jade, did we?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it feels so dead, this division.
Yeah. I do think the match will be pretty good, but and I thought this was good too. So the wrestling was kind of speaking for itself. But yeah, there's no story. Like there's a bit of a story with Toni and stuff, and then obviously if
Brit's feuded with everyone as well.
Well, the interesting thing is Brit and Jamie are like you can fight each other. So like, will that happen? Kind of thing. So we'll see. This could be when Jamie turns on Brit or something, or vice versa. Like Brit could pin Jamie.
Yeah.
And win, right? So that's something that could happen. We go to
there'll definitely be a spot of physicality that they'll follow up on. Like, hey, why'd you do that?
Yeah.
Kind of stuff.
Or like Brit at the end of it, like nails her and pins her.
Yeah.
Or makes her tap out. And it's like, what? Well, I saw you as a weak link and I took it. We go to Miro, who has a vignette here backstage, and he's talking to the House of Black, and he's talking about God, and he's talking about how it took the 3 devils to make me realize stuff about God and the devil. And then in comes Darby Allin on one side of Miro and mentions that, Brody, you choked me out, you tried to kill me, House of Black, we want our revenge. And then on the other side, Sting walks into the frame and says, the enemy of our enemy is our friend. So he says it just like that. So Joker Sting's returning to the House of Black. Joker Sting is going to show up. So it does look like we're getting this trios match that we kind of saw coming.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll put any sort of stipulation on this one, because it's a Sting match on pay-per-view. Like, he got to jump off something.
He's jumping off something, guys.
Also, the fact we've got 3 6-man tags on this show, which seems quite a lot. But this match sounds a lot of fun. It's weird pairing, Miro, Darby, and Sting, but why not? I think that's where Sting's worked. It's just these bizarre pairings. House of Black are great.
Yeah. Are we seeing?
I think it'll be really fun.
Are we seeing Miro in face paint?
Ooh,
a warrior.
Yeah,
Miro.
like a
god.
Yeah,
God of War kind of thing, maybe.
He needs to, doesn't he? Really,
he kind of needs to be with these guys.
Well, they should all come out in loincloths, like a real callback.
Alexander Rusev.
Yeah.
I'm interested in this match. The House of Black are just having a great string of matches, and this is interesting. And you're right, this has to have some sort of stip because Sting has to do something crazy. Every pay-per-view, he's stealing the show, jumping off shit. Your wallpaper is still Sting jumping off the tunnel onto
the Bucks
for no reason. It's just funny. We go to CM Punk. And at first, the crowd did not. They're like, no, he's not here. They're not playing his music. And out comes CM Punk, but he looks like sad Punk.
This was so funny. He's coming out looking all somber. He's pissed off.
Yeah.
Commentary are calling to attention that he doesn't look himself. He's a pissed off, upset CM Punk. As they show a picture for PWT of CM Punk in the Punk hockey jersey, just going, yay! And the 2 images at the same time was just really funny. They're trying to sell him, hockey, and buy the new CM Punk hockey jersey, PWT.
Yeah. Well, CM Punk is very sad, and he gets in the ring. He's talking about how June 8th he had foot surgery, and then he has 16 screws in his foot. And I could be mistaken, but did someone say, like, screw you? And he's like, no, you're someone, you're never getting screwed. No one's ever going to screw you or something like that. Like, shutting this guy up instantly.
Was it just some heckler?
I think so, yeah. Interesting. It was very weird. What's with AEW?
He was like, 16 screws more than you've ever had in your life, or something like that, I think he said.
Oh, my God. So that's why Punk was like, nah, you've never screwed in your life or something. Yeah. AEW always has people chirping in on big promos. Punk then says that it wasn't a great week. He says he got beat up in Cleveland again. And he says, I may be 100% because I got tested and did everything, but my 100% is a new 100%. That's my new normal. And I came back because I love my fans. And I couldn't do anything when I was injured. I couldn't walk. For 2 months, I couldn't even take Larry, my dog, out for a walk. I let him down. My little sister is here front row. I let her down too. And, well, it looks like I let you all down. And, well, I love you, you love me, but that love just isn't enough anymore. When Ace Steel comes into the ring and says, Punk, we are family. We are friends here, and kind of reiterates that he was one of the guys to train CM Punk all these days back. He says, I've had a great career, but my favorite part about my whole wrestling career is that I helped create you. I helped create the power of CM Punk. And Punk, you did everything. You didn't let anyone down. You filled a whole arena on a rumor, and you've had matches after matches, and you're gonna fight. And just starts getting hype and saying, Punk, you're not here to quit. You're gonna fight.
He slaps him
across the face and says, without a censor, we watched the TBS feed tonight, no censor, you're gonna fucking fight.
You fucking get up.
So CM Punk just starts to go, all right, okay. And he starts to get hype up and says, you know what? I am going to fight. And says, a lot of people try to put me in the ground. A lot of people think they're the one who's going to kill me. Well, Jon Moxley, you ain't him. And says, I'm going to sign this contract. You can't break my bones. We are in Chicago. You can't break my spirit. And he says, we are Chicago. As he goes through the crowd, he says, I'm the Wild Thing. And then signs the contract. And yeah, we are Chicago.
I thought this was awesome. As I said, I like it. Let it play out. We came off of last week going, oh, what do we think it's going to be, and how it's strange to be going this close to a pay-per-view without knowing the main event. But it's, I guess, All Out sold out, isn't it?
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah, of course.
So why not? Like, pay-per-view buys, most people, like we buy it, 30 minutes before the show starts, don't it?
Yeah.
I've enjoyed this. It's different. It's been different storytelling. I appreciated when Ace Steel came out, he did turn to the crowd and was like, hey, let me introduce myself. This is who I am. Because I think AEW at times doesn't do that.
Yeah.
And you'll see this guy come out and the casual viewer will go, who the fuck's this guy?
Yeah.
Oh, suddenly his best friend or whatever. I appreciate he was like, hey, this is who I am. I train this guy.
Yeah.
And let you know. I thought he was awesome. I thought Punk was great.
It was awesome.
Again, it feels like you could have maybe had this over a couple of weeks, having depressed Punk last week, and then this week it's the pep talk. Whereas it's a bit like, oh, I'm sad. No, you're not. You're in Chicago. Oh, yeah, I'm in Chicago. Let's go.
We are Hoffman Estates.
But I loved this. I thought it was great. I do think the match feels bigger than it did a couple of weeks ago before doing the first round match. So hats off to Tony.
Man, this was awesome. Ace Steel, Punk, everything here just hit perfectly. You knew something was happening. He's like, if he's here, then we're doing this match.
Yeah.
It's got to happen. And it got me so much more into this match. Great job in this. And it's not over for this build to this match for this show, because like I said, there's a lot of weaving the story all through the night. We then go to Jungle Boy and Christian Cage, who have a sit-down interview earlier today with JR. And Christian, they've agreed to no violence.
It was JR's decision. He's like, hey, I'm going to hold this. Well, there ain't going to be any fighting.
And Christian's like,
no physicality.
Christian's like, now I know JR, you were really worried that I would be violent in this. yeah, Christian, you're right. So Christian says that Jungle Boy, you made a mistake of asking for this match, and I'm going to put you in an early retirement at the age of 25. You won't have a career after fighting me.
Has-been.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be a 25-year-old has-been. And Jungle Boy says, you've said a lot of things to me, and this Sunday I'm finally going to be able to get my hands on you. And says, you're not gonna be wrestling Jungle Boy. You're going to be fighting Jack. So things are coming to a head at All Out between these two, which I think could be a good match. I mean, we knew this match was been pretty much in the cards for quite a while, so there isn't really much else you need to do to this.
I feel this one might have suffered from too much time.
Yeah.
When you did the turn, because it was a long time ago to build this, and I do feel in kind of the level of interest it has lost steam a little bit.
Yeah.
But I've enjoyed it, and I think the match is going to be good. Christian sounded great here. Jungle Boy, it's clear he's like not in the same class, I think, when it comes to promos. And like the stuff about still saying he loved him and
they said he loved him.
it just didn't quite connect with me. But I like Christian where they were like, oh, this has been you the whole time. And he's like, yeah, like I'm a piece of shit. I came in for money. Like, I think he's been fantastic.
Yeah, and his red turtleneck here, of course. Yeah, I think the match people will be talking about it.
Are they saying this is a grudge match? So is this a...
No DQ or something?
Maybe.
It should be.
I think it should be.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the...
I
it
think
just says singles match. I can see a stipulation being added
Yeah.
here. We're going to get a concerto to Christian, aren't we?
Same with the main event. I think you could add, like...
Main event, you can have a ref bump, I think.
TK will be okay with bumps in his wrestling ring. We go to Wardlow and FTR, and we have them going up against the team of Blink and You Miss It.
Was this the Trustbusters?
If you told me it was, I would have believed you.
It's not?
No, it's Steve, Rick, and Jones.
Okay.
No, it's Silas Young, who I swear was in the match but didn't wrestle.
Silas Young was in this match?
He was on the turnbuckle the whole
No,
match.
you're lying.
And I don't know who the other guy was, but
Red Jones and Vic Capri Sun?
Nice. Capri Sun. Remember those?
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah. They have like adult versions
Little
of them.
pouches. What, like alcohol ones?
Yeah.
Are they, what, spiked Capri Sun?
I don't know, like they should have like official ones. They should get in that market.
Yeah.
They have like knockoff ones for adults, but
Yeah, because you got like the hard Arizonas and things like that now.
yeah. So like Capri Sun Hard. That sounds weird. But it's sun like the sun.
Capri.
Not like a sun.
Yeah.
Like
All right.
the sun, like your son. Wardlow and FTR beat the shit out of these guys and win in like a
Kill
minute.
them in seconds.
Big Rig and the Powerbomb Symphony, and they have a match on the pay-per-view against. I love how they're part of a dream match this Sunday with Machine Guns and Jay Lethal.
It's gonna be good. Like I think it's like FTR, Machine Guns in the ring together. It's gonna be awesome. But I do feel sorry for these three. Wardlow has had such a rough go at it since the match with MJF, which I think he really suffered from everything that happened that weekend with the MJF not showing up and all that stuff. He felt so hot going into that match. Sure, they put the TNT title on him, but it was then in a feud with Scorpio Sky that I don't think people particularly cared about. And he's in this feud with Jay Lethal that I don't think people care about. So he has drastically gone down since the last pay-per-view for me. And then FTR, who felt so fucking hot a month ago. They're still carrying all this gold from all over the world. And they're not defending any of them. They're in this match. We were talking perhaps Bucks FTR being the main event of this show.
So it's interesting because we've been saying that, and apparently in some interviews this week they thought the same thing.
Right.
They were like, yeah, we assumed that was the match.
Yeah.
So it changed.
And obviously Kenny coming back. The talks of Tony Khan has had these trios titles for a while and wanted to wait for Kenny to do them, and then Kenny being cleared, I guess, figured let's do it. It's just, I don't get why these guys aren't being positioned bigger. And then you get this report that they've been taken out of the AEW game. Yeah. Which is really bizarre.
Really weird. Is it like will they have DLC? Will they be downloadable?
I think so, but these are like main characters on your show.
Yeah.
Like to throw them in as a DLC. I fucking hate DLC anyway.
I know.
Just let me play the game and win stuff. Like,
yeah.
You've already got my $80 for the game.
Yeah,
I'm like giving you more money.
Yeah, it's something
idiots. I don't get. But yeah, I do think the match will be good. Like all the talent involved is good. It's just it could be a really fun Dynamite match.
They're gonna take all these titles minus ROH and go to the Fed.
Yeah.
Fight the Usos again.
Yeah.
Shave their backs.
Yeah. No, it is one I could see now, which a few months ago I wouldn't have said that at all, but I can see there being a compelling offer for these two down the line.
Which I think maybe just this pay-per-view, it's, hey, chill, we have a program for you coming up. Because, I mean, eventually they got to be the champs. They got to at least go for the titles against Swerve or Glory or whatever. Like, they got to be featured more. I mean, they're on TV right now, but they're not on the pay-per-view, which is very odd. They are a huge overact right now.
And I feel Wardlow being paired with, in a singles feud with someone more interesting would help him as well.
Both of them are just like chilling, why is this happening? A few wrestlers look like they've been pretty vocal on social media. Like Miro's kind of like I'm not the match I really wanted to be in, but I
mean Miro Wardlow.
Yeah, but who do you put over? Miro.
Either, but I mean, you can have a great match and elevate each other in doing so.
Exactly.
It's more so than just being in random thrown together 6-man tags.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially on a show where you're crowning a trios championship, it seems weird we've got all these extra trios matches on the show.
The winner
that wasn't involved in the tournament. It's
the
a bit
winner.
bizarre.
All the winners of the trio matches should have a 3-way trios match on Dynamite for the trios title.
Right.
That's what should happen. We go to Jon Moxley, who now comes out to the ring. He's fired up. Yeah, this story is continuing. Moxley says, if that's what your boy wants, Chicago, then that's what your boy's going to get. And he says that I've learned real quick, and these people will, that he is a fake messiah and I'm a real martyr. And Punk, I am going to kill you. So I loved this. This guy's intensity, like I said, off the top of the show. He was fired up off the top of the show, and he was still smug. And then he comes out here after Punk had that great, like, fired up moment with his pal, Ace Steel. Mox just comes out saying, I'm going to fucking murder you now. Like, if you didn't get the message last week, I'm going to kill you now.
In Chicago.
Yeah, here in Chicago on Sunday.
I love he looked like he was going to say some more,
Yeah.
and then his music played, and you could see him thinking about it, and then he just threw the mic down the aisle.
Yeah, love this guy. This
Like, are you going to tell this guy, hey, can you not throw the mic?
This got me so much even more. Again, all the segments, as like putting them all in part of the story of the show, just made this feel so awesome. I'm excited for this match.
I think it feels the biggest match on the show, as well. Which at times I found with AEW and the pay-per-views, the main event, the title hasn't felt like the biggest match. It definitely does with this one between these two.
Yeah, it feels like one of the biggest AEW matches to date. Now the booking has been really good. I know I've like some of my friends are like, like I'm not sure what they were going with. Like, why can't you just tell us what the match is? But I think we knew what the match was, and leading to all this great, what I thought was some great storytelling here, getting you hyped for the match, which they kind of lacked in the past with some big title matches. If it's your main event, why isn't it like being treated like that? I know All Out last year was awesome, and Christian Kenny, cool, great, but it didn't have quite a...
That's what I mean. It didn't feel like the main event.
You know, it didn't feel like that. And I think a few times there's been some matches that kind of felt that way. But this feels like the big main event. Like, put the videos to My Way all together now. Like, this feels like it.
I feel we've been so conditioned by terrible booking in WWE and terrible storytelling and stories starting and then being dropped, where we've been right to see something and criticize because you go, they don't know where they're going or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think it's so ingrained in wrestling fans now to see a segment like last week and then go, and we were doing it. Well, what's the match? What are you doing? What's the match? Like,
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, were you talking between this episode, last week's episode, and this week's episode going, what do you think they're going to do?
Yeah.
Was the conversation of AEW still in your minds every day? Yeah, it was. And was every segment enjoyable and entertaining? Yeah, it has been. So I will say, like, I think they've earned the right to kind of be, let's see where it goes.
Is it kind of like how Stranger Things on Netflix is just dumped out all at once, and then, like, you have to watch it all to be able to talk about it? And then, like, by the time you've watched it all, it's like, yeah, whatever. Whereas Obi-Wan dropped week by week, so that gives you a week, like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen this week. Did you watch it?
You get a cliffhanger, and you're like, it keeps it alive in a way. No, I think it's been really kind of interesting booking and storytelling, and it has got me hyped for the match.
Yeah.
And it would be a different story if All Out was selling really shit.
Yeah.
And you're a week, 2 weeks out, and we don't know the main event. That's a problem. If you've already sold it, now it's right. Most people are going to buy the pay-per-view within the next few days. Now is the push. And did this end thing get you hyped for it? Yeah. Now I want to see this match and give you my money.
Yeah. No. And of course you could have people, well, they gave it away for free and he beat him in 3 minutes. Why would I want to watch it again? Nah, come on. You know they're gonna kill each other out there. Who's gonna bleed more? Mox, obviously. But Punk will bleed too.
Punk bleeds a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's
I know.
all the blood.
Yeah, it's gonna be bloody. Mox is fighting. It's been announced for GCW. Mox Gage. Again? Nick Gage, Mox. They're going to kill each other. Maybe Nick's taking the title.
When's that?
Sometime in October, I think.
Okay.
It's in a few months. We go to the Dark Order backstage. They're being interviewed by Marvez, and they mention that Preston Vance is hurt, and he can't compete in the trios match tomorrow night on Rampage in the tournament but Evil Uno says he's going to take his spot when Andrade shows up, and him and Jose, they offer Preston Vance a job. They're like, hey, leave the Dark Order and join us because you could be good. You're big and strong. We're going to make you a star. We're going to take that mask off. You're going to be great. And then he hands like a huge wad and stack of cash to Evil Uno, who then like, we don't want your money, like get out of here. When Andrade just punches Evil Uno, starts beating the shit out of him, and then, am I nuts, but did Jose pull out a damn taser? Was that a stun gun?
Yeah.
And then Preston Vance is like, all right, whatever, and then they leave. So, yeah.
It was a bit odd because there's been no real connection between Andrade and the Dark Order at all. We've kind of thought, okay, yeah, we're going to see these injuries happen and Hangman's going to, by the time of the pay-per-view, step in to help his friends out. But it just felt, oh shit, yeah, we've got to injure Uno, who's not doing anything today. Andrade, Jose, come over here. It felt very strange, it being this.
A taser! Yo, Jose's a fucking psychopath.
It would make more sense if they were going to be their opponents.
Yeah.
But why does Andrade want to buy Preston?
Man, what's going on with Andrade in this?
I also feel, as someone who doesn't watch Rampage, and sure, you can say that's on me.
Yeah.
We had a segment on Dynamite, like Hangman saying he's not going to partner them. None of these Dark Order Trios matches has been on Dynamite at all.
Right.
You know? So it's just... It feels less than, I think.
Sure.
And yeah, okay, Hangman's going to step in.
Yeah. Really weird segment.
Yeah, very odd.
Really weird.
Very odd.
Like, why would you attack? Like, if it is you guys facing him, then like, yeah.
That's what it's like, oh, we need to start these injury angles. How should we do it?
Yeah.
But there hasn't been anything, because Dark Order's not been doing anything for the longest time. Like, really of interest. They don't have these little beefs already that you could have used.
Really weird. It's funny. Jose, man. You've seen him.
He's a psycho.
He's jacked. He's tasing people.
Yeah.
Wow. He's a great get for Andrade.
Yeah, Chavo didn't have a taser, did he?
Yeah.
Do you remember when Chavo was in this company?
Who else did Andrade have? Vicky?
I think Vicky as well.
What's going on? Andrade. Andrade has definitely been talking to Triple H. I'll come back. Charlotte's there. It's fine. I'll be
Can
back.
I bring my friend? He's kind of jacked.
My friend's jacked, trust me. And he uses a taser. He's in. Bring him in.
Cody's still like, and Brandy? No. But Jose, yeah, come over here.
Fuck. Yeah. And he's already got one name, just Jose.
Yeah.
Not No Way Jose. That's a different Jose. Who's now in AEW.
He had a dark match, right?
Yeah.
What's he called now?
No Way.
He's just No Way.
No, he's yes.
He was No Way in Impact, I think, wasn't he?
Yes Way.
Yes Way? I don't know, man.
We go to our next match. It is a fatal 4-way match with 4 competitors that will be competing in this casino ladder match on the pay-per-view. Yeah, that's been added, which just sounds bonkers here. We have the match announced for the pay-per-view is Claudio, Wheeler, Penta, Ray, Phoenix, Roosh, Andrade, Dante, and To Be Determined.
And this is to win a title opportunity.
Future world title shot.
Right.
Yeah, this is what Hangman won last year.
Okay.
So
They did it on TV, didn't they?
Yes.
Yes, that's right.
So this match is a 4-way with 4 guys in it. Ray Phoenix, Wheeler Yuta, Roosh, and Dante Martin. And this is crazy. Trying to take notes for this, there was all over the place. Dante with this crazy sunset bomb on Ray Phoenix for a near fall.
Yeah, well, it was like a wheelbarrow counter into
No idea.
a sunset flip bomb thing. It was crazy.
It was wild. He starts doing topes, then Ray Phoenix does a tope. Everyone's doing topes and dives to the outside onto everyone else.
Yeah, Phoenix has that beautiful... He has the speed of Darby Allin with
Yeah.
Darby's like shoulder tope, but does the rotation through the ropes as well. Looks great. And then Yuta had a nice one as well, and Dante with his like leap right to the top rope for his like twisted plancha.
Roosh hits one as well where he runs like full speed and then throws guys back in, and then there's all more chaos. Eventually he hits, I think, Dante with the a straight jacket pile driver, but it's broken up. We've seen him. I think that's one of his finishes. There's just more, all four guys leapfrogging, springboarding, countering everything. There's a huge power bomb spot. There's a nutso spot where Dante poison Rana, the greatest move, on Rey Fenix, but like halfway through, it's like it didn't go through. So then he spikes him with
He,
it.
like,
Oh man,
jolted him to make him leap.
fucking nuts, dude. It leaves Dante in the ring alone with Wheeler Yuta, who connects with the seat belt, and it's a 1-2-3. This was like a mega seat belt. This is like double protection, baby on board seat belt.
Leg and...
Like he hooked the leg upside down and gets the win here. So Wheeler Yuta picks up the win.
I did like there was a dive, and I don't think I've really seen this before. We've seen someone diving off the top and you smacking him with an elbow or whatever. Roosh did it with a headbutt to Dante.
Yeah.
Which I thought looked great. Yeah, this match was crazy. This ladder match is going to be absolutely insane with these guys. Who do you see being the extra person? The Joker?
Joker?
Do you think it's a debut? Do you think it's a return?
Will we get Joker Penta? Penta Joker?
I mean, he's already in the match.
Yeah.
But will he dust off his Joker costume?
He hasn't worn it in a while.
It's been a while.
Oh no! What did we just manifest? I don't know. Who is the thing? Who has been missing? That's kind of been a big deal. Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe. You wonder, like, bringing out Morrissey, would that be? It feels a bit weird.
Yeah, now it'd be weird.
Like Lance Archer could be back as well.
Yeah.
It's. I always think if you're going to advertise, like if you're making it surprise, it's got to be something big.
Yeah.
But we also have seen sometimes it isn't that.
If it's a pay-per-view, it should be someone big, but I just don't know who else is.
Leo Rush again.
Yeah. Don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Who do you guys think it will be? Let us know. We'll see who pops up. But who do you think wins that match? Is it the guy who's the surprise?
That's the other thing as well, isn't it? When it's a surprise, it's like, well, you kind of would think they'd win it unless you do someone kind of on roster already or whatever.
True. I mean, depending on if who our world champ is, you could do Claudio versus Mox or Claudio versus Punk. You could do Andrade Mox, Andrade Punk. There's a few different
Andrade's
options.
someone I'd like to see in a top feud.
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to be for a TV defense, I would think.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Maybe.
yeah, not sure who the Joker is.
Yeah. We go backstage. John Silver and Alex Reynolds, who Reynolds is sporting a nice beard. I think it makes him look pretty good. Next level, Alex Reynolds. When they mentioned that their boys are all being taken out and injured, so it looks like they're just going to go 2-on-3 for the trios match, which makes total sense.
First ever trios, yeah.
Yeah. When Hangman Adam Page walks in and says, "You guys need a partner. You've always had my back, and now I'm going to have yours." And then John Silver's like, "Hey, can we just make sure we're all clear here? You're going to be on our team?" And he says, "Yes." So tomorrow night on Friday Rampage, it's the Dark Order versus the Best Friends.
Best Friends.
Yeah,
Orange Cassidy.
which should be sweet.
Yeah.
Which should be awesome, actually.
Can't wait to not watch it.
I will definitely check it out, but it'll have to be.
There's
like
a lot
the
of
next-
wrestling this weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm watching Rampage.
So clearly, we're going.
It's Hangman and Dark Order against the Elite.
Yeah.
Which will be great.
Insane. So yeah, good stuff all around. We then go to our main event of the evening, which is the United Empire, Will Ospreay and Aussie Open, meaning I know their names now, Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis.
There we go.
Mark Davis is the one sporting the goose or rooster mustache.
Yep.
So that's easy to remember. They followed FTR's thing. One guy's got a stash, book it, do it.
And the guy that's Kyle looks like a Kyle.
Yeah, he
That's
looks
all
like
I
he's a
think.
Kyle Fletcher. Yeah. These guys are hot off their match last week with their win over the Death Triangle, which a lot of people were talking about, and no one mentioned how Kip Sabian interfered.
No, that was
Never happened.
no, didn't happen.
We made it up. The Will Ospreay comes out with Aussie Open, and they're ready for this match. I mean, this is a pretty big match considering Kenny and Ospreay are going to be involved in the same match. So out comes the Bucks, and then out comes Kenny Omega to one of the funniest Justin Roberts Kenny intros I can think of, when he's like, "He is and goes off listing the things we've heard him list, like the PWI. But he goes, he is better than Will Ospreay. He has in their only encounter, he has a 1-0 victory over Will Ospreay. He also sells more merch than Will Ospreay. He also is more handsomer, has a better smile, and does a lot more charity work than Will Ospreay, representing North Carolina.
I think it was he had a comeback match which did not take place in North Carolina.
He is Kenny Omega, who comes out here. I hear the battle cry. Huge reaction from the crowd here in Hoffman Estates for Kenny Omega.
And this time, he's still wearing the compression shirt, but doesn't have the black strap he had on before.
So he's getting closer and closer to being the Kenny machine that we know. This, I mean, I don't know how anyone could try to take notes on this, but this was just insanity. I mean, if you're listening to this and you didn't watch this, I don't know what you're doing, and stop and put it on.
It was one of those things where I was a bit caught off guard. You normally kind of build up to the first encounter between the two single stars, in this case being Kenny and Ospreay. And right off the bat, they're going at it. And it was one of those things where, we're doing this now?
Okay.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
And doing more than just teasing as well, actually having a bit of a match here.
Yeah, Ospreay starts off by just running at Kenny right when the bell rings and boots him in the face, and they start to beat down on him, and they start beating up on Kenny, and then there's tons of topes from Aussie Open, and then a crazy twisting sky twister, I think that's what they call it, Ospreay does off the top to the outside. We go to picture-in-picture, and during picture-in-picture, if you're watching, they're fighting up the ramp. Matt Jackson does a tope con hilo off the ramp, off to the ground, onto all of them. It's just chaos. When we come back, Aussie Open hit this crazy double cutter to get a near fall. Kenny tags back in and hits a series of snapdragons on everyone. And then when he hits it on Mark Davis, he hits it on Kyle Fletcher. Ospreay gets in. He goes to hit it on him. Ospreay counters it the first time. Kenny sidesteps and counters another counter into another counter. Kenny goes for the Snapdragon again, and Ospreay escapes it, landing on his feet. Sends Kenny to the outside, and when Ospreay goes to do one of his diving
Sasuke special,
lands on his feet because Kenny moves and hits him with the Snapdragon on the outside, and Kenny goes right into the camera and he's like, "What? You thought I was gonna wait there? You thought I was just gonna stand there? No."
There were, especially in the early part, there were lots of moments where Kenny would just sort of stop, pull up and to evade something where we know them as Ospreay spots. He's been studying him.
Right.
We know Callis has been studying him for the last 7 months and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I like how they showed it in this with Kenny you haven't quite got me here.
Hey, I jumped out of my seat for this whole sequence, man. This is exactly what I thought we'd see from these two tying it up here. We then see Kenny back in the ring, but then Aussie Open gain control and start isolating him as they go to picture-in-picture. It's all of them beating down on Kenny for a lot of it, but when we come back, eventually he gets the hot tag to Nick Jackson. And oh boy, I mean, everyone wants to see Kenny and Ospreay tie up, but we've seen glimmers of
what a Nick Jackson hot tag is.
Yeah, dude, this was crazy. He hits flying double X Factors, a moonsault to the outside onto Ospreay, transitioning it into a spinning satellite DDT. Just chef's kiss. We go back into the ring. Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay are now face to face, and they start going at it again. And this is the moment we were talking about, the real showdown between them. They're going back and forth when Ospreay sends Kenny to the depths of hell with this sit out Liger bomb that we've seen him do. But Kenny kicks out of it. My notes just say, holy shit, WTF, and then WTF, what the fuck, spelled out completely. So everything in this match was going insane. There's V-triggers, counters, there's super kick parties, there's Ospreay doing flips and landing on his feet. When eventually they get, I think, Kyle Fletcher in here, they nail him with a bunch of stuff. They eventually go for the Indie Taker or the Meltzer Driver, but instead it's countered, and the United Empire hit the move itself on Matt Jackson, but it's broken up just in the nick of time.
They did. It was a shooting star
Yeah.
Like headbutt to the butt.
So
Meltzer driver.
Remember the PWG match with the Bucks and Ospreay where they countered? He did the same spot. So he springboards and RKO's the dude who's doing the flip, and then he goes up and does it on the other guy. It was like the exact same spot from that match.
It was just before this when there was this great near fall on Kyle Fletcher where it wasn't the golden what do they call it, the BTE trigger, but it was a double super kick with the V trigger at the same time, which I thought looked even better, to be honest. And I thought this was it. And Mark Davis getting a great 2.9 save on that.
Yeah, they break it up.
And then you had this Meltzer driver thing as well. Just insane stuff.
They eventually get Will in the ring and they hit this crazy V trigger, super kick, all this stuff. And then the Indie Taker connects on Will Ospreay, but Will is not the legal man in the match, because that actually counts sometimes in this thing, who the legal man is. Will gets rolled out of the ring when Fletcher's the legal man, brought back in. The Bucks isolate the other two on the outside. Kenny nails him with a V-trigger, one winged angel, and we know he ain't kicking out of that. And the Elite beat the Empire and advance in the trios match in one fucking hell of a match. Holy man.
Great stuff.
Pay-per-views this Sunday, but here you go. Take a match of the year contender right here.
Yeah, this was amazing. I loved Ospreay ripping at the compression shirt, and you see underneath, he's clearly and quite smartly done cupping recently, because his back just looks fucked. And with the added tape, I'm sure some of this is legit. He has just come back from injury with all these surgeries. But I think they played it up quite nicely that he's, you saw, we were saying, he's wearing that shirt, he still looks jacked. But when it was removed, you could see how beaten up he actually still looks.
Right, it looked
and
good.
It just added a layer to this match as well. I'm sure we're getting this singles match at
Grand Slam.
Do you see any kind of shenanigans with Ospreay maybe costing them the tournament and having Hangman and Dark Order win this thing?
Yeah, that could potentially happen, and that's why the Dark Order win the first trios thing. I think that could be pretty cool, and then easily sets up Will Kenny at Grand Slam, which I think will be the main event of that Dynamite, or start the show with it like they did last year with Danielson Kenny. But either way, we're getting this, and just the glimpses of those two going at it in this match were just insane. And I got to give props to Aussie Open, man. They've been given this opportunity, and they've been running with it, putting on bangers, and they're the Impact Tag Champions, so that easily sets up for FTR to finally have...
New Japan Strong.
Oh, I thought they won Impact.
Are they Impact as well? They were out with the Strong belts.
Oh, okay. I thought I also saw that they won the Impact Championship. So I mean, there's a tag match with FTR for Wrestle Kingdom. I would assume, right, down the line. But I mean, this was awesome. One of my favorite Dynamite matches, I think, for sure. I'm a huge Ospreay fan. I think Kenny is the GOAT, and seeing them fight each other here was pretty sweet. And I think the storytelling, it's not even just the crazy wrestling and the flips. It's not all about that. The storytelling before the match, after the match.
Well, just, how fired up, how Ospreay's been calling this guy out for so long, how fired up for the fight he was at the beginning. And, the whole Omega kind of scouting him the whole time. And getting the W over him.
Ospreay they cut to him on the ramp, just sad, almost looks like he's crying, fuck. So you could see him costing Kenny the match later, setting up for easily Grand Slam. So yeah, that sounds awesome. But this was fantastic.
And great to see how, obviously this is Chicago and a smart crowd, but Ospreay's he's so good, and his style is so, if you've never seen it before, it blows you away.
Yeah.
He feels like a top guy instantly, which, when you consider the people that have felt like that before in this company are the ones who have come over. It's the Danielsons, the Punks, they're here, that's awesome, we get to see a Daniel Bryan match now. Ospreay, who hasn't been in WWE, coming and feeling like a huge star in this company already, and he's not signed.
I think he will be eventually.
Think he will, yeah.
I think he'll be doing some double duty a lot more often, but I absolutely love this. I loved this episode of Dynamite. This might be a all-timer, honestly. I really enjoyed it. They did such a good job of getting me excited for the pay-per-view on Sunday, which, not saying I wasn't, but they definitely turned that up to 11.
Yeah, they've made this main event feel huge. I mean, we'll go through some predictions, but I could have done without the W. Morrissey thing. I thought that was a bit weird. I thought the the write-off of Uno was lazy. But apart from that, really strong. Loved the whole Mox Punk stuff.
Yeah.
This main event was insane. That 4-way was great. The women's division still needs a lot of work because I thought that was pretty forgettable, and it's a match I'm definitely not hyped for. And then there's, Jade Cargill and Athena has had nothing.
Yeah. I know you're excited about that match.
There's some matches that have been built really well and others that aren't, and it's just a shame that I feel both women's matches there's just nothing going into it.
Well, should we run down the card for All Out?
it.
So, I mean, another thing we didn't talk about is Eddie Kingston, Sammy Guevara. They apparently squashed their beef. They're boys again. So Eddie Kingston is awarded with a rematch of a dream match for him with Tomohiro Ishii on the kickoff show for All Out.
So Eddie's feuding with Jericho, and then is like, "Go on, Brian. You can finish off my feud with Jericho.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go below that and fight with Sammy. Get upset because I'm called a fat piece of shit,
And then hit him.
so pie face him and get suspended.
Oh.
Sammy gets the match taken off of him. Sammy is off the pay-per-view. Eddie comes back, and it's, let's just fight Ishii."
It's the most Eddie Kingston
Right?
fucking...
I noticed on the graphic they put it as Ishii versus Kingston 2. So acknowledging the match they had recently, which wasn't in AEW.
Which was good, but it didn't hit like a level I think both guys could do. And I think with a hot crowd in Chicago, they'll be hype.
What I mean, I just found it interesting because they were putting it as the second time it wasn't an AEW match.
Sure,
you know, but I'm like, that's cool. They're kind of acknowledging that
New
these
Japan.
have fought recently.
Yeah, I mean, do you think we're getting Ishii next week in Buffalo too?
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Depends when his flight home is.
Come on, Tom.
Yeah.
Come hang out in Buff.
Looking forward to that. Whole weird thing with this whole Sammy Eddie thing.
Yeah, really odd. You're right though. Sammy's not even on the show.
It's like Eddie gets suspended and Sammy loses his match.
Sammy's gonna feud. Sammy's gonna come in and try to help Jericho for sure.
Maybe Ishii will join the JAS.
Wear a Kangol. Ishii in the Kangol. Something tells me he wears
Ishii in the
Kangol.
red mesh vest for blood and guts.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sammy Guevara is coming out to help Ishii win. There we go. That's my call there.
Be wild. I think Eddie wins this one. What about Pac versus Kip Sabian?
I mean, you got to pull the trigger on Kip, right?
Strike while the iron's hot.
It's been long enough. Had his hot return last week, and
so hot return, nuclear.
I remember I didn't enjoy Kip and Miro and all that.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy Kip and Jimmy Havoc. Remember that?
The super bad guys. What were their names? Fuck.
Were they super bad?
They were like, he's super bad Kip Sabian, which they dropped.
I can't remember what this guy's wrestling is, to be honest with you. Pac's great.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I hope I'm pleasantly surprised with this.
What about Hook defending his FTW title against Angelo Parker?
30 seconds here.
Angelo wins.
Yeah. With his razor blade, isn't it?
His comb.
Yeah.
He's going to try to comb Hook's hair.
Oh, okay.
And then get choked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hook.
We have Wardlow, FTR versus Jay Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns. I think FTR and Wardlow.
Wardlow and
obviously.
FTR's got to be.
Yeah.
Unless you do like a Motor City pin on one of FTR to
and
kind of
rematch it Wednesday.
Just set up her tag. Yeah,
that'd be all right. Tony Storm versus Britt Baker versus Jamie Hayter versus Hikaru Shida. Fatal 4 women's title. I think Britt. I think we've said.
Well, apparently the plan was possibly Tony was to win against Thunder Rosa.
Yeah.
But with this being interim, do you just go safe in a way and go with Britt?
Yeah.
I do Britt and start a feud with Jamie.
There you go. I'd say the same thing. Claudio versus Wheeler versus Penta versus Phoenix versus Rush, Andrade, Dante, and to be determined. I think we kind of said Claudio or Andrade, possibly.
I'm going to go Andrade.
TBD.
TBD, whoever that is.
Bryan Danielson versus Chris Jericho. The Lionheart versus the Dragon. I think we're we've been discussing, like it should be Danielson beating Chris Jericho and Garcia joining the Combat Club, but I mean Jericho, there's going to be some shenanigans in the story. There might be some twists and swerves with this story, but I think Danielson should go over.
I think Danielson.
But I wouldn't be shocked if Jericho somehow gets the W.
No.
Yeah, which I'm also okay with, but it's fine. I just want the match to be really great, and I think it will be. Swerve in Our Glory versus the Acclaimed for the tag titles. I
think the Acclaimed have had a great run recently, and it's awesome that they're getting a pay-per-view match, but Swerve in Our Glory.
Yeah, Scissor Me Swerve.
It's still pretty early in their reign, I think.
I think they'll retain, but I think it'll be awesome and get the Acclaimed even more over than they kind of are. Do the Acclaimed are kind of baby faces, but are they gonna rap? We didn't get a rap off. Is that tomorrow on
true.
Rampage?
You could do it on Rampage, yeah.
Yeah, because that would make sense.
Yeah.
Jungle Boy versus Christian Cage.
Jungle Boy has to put him away, right?
Yeah, but then where's Jungle Boy go from there? The jungle.
Goes after Wardlow? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I say Jungle Boy too. Ricky Starks, Powerhouse Hobbs.
This feels kind of similar to Jungle Boy Christian.
Yeah.
And in that case, I would flip
Hobbs.
it and go with Hobbs, I think.
And continue the feud.
Yeah.
Yeah, continue the feud with Hobbs.
Yeah, you can have a big
Starks.
blow-off match on TV. But yeah, I'll go with Hobbs.
Me too. Not saying I don't like Ricky Starks. Been loving this feud, and they let it cool on tonight's show. So I think Hobbs getting the win could be like more of an upset and continue it. He'll target the neck and win. Jade Cargill versus... How many matches are on this show?
14.
Jade Cargill versus Athena.
Yeah, I feel Athena is a big enough star that she could be one to beat Cargill.
You of all people are saying...
But the whole build has been nothing.
Yeah.
So I can't see you pulling something off like ending the streak in a match third from bottom on this 14 match show.
Fair enough.
You know?
I say Jade.
So I'd say Jade.
Cut the shit. We go to... Or, sorry, not we go to. Just have it. There's so many matches. House of Black versus Miro, Darby, and Sting.
Sting's like... Has Sting lost?
Yeah, I think so. At least once or twice.
He's got a pretty good record, hasn't he?
Especially in these multi-man tag matches on pay-per-view. It's going to continue. The streak continues.
Fuck it. Continue with the streak.
Sting's jumping off.
Sting is winning.
We should really be predicting what Sting jumps off of.
Yeah.
He's done through the crowd area, and then he's done off the tunnel thing. So where does he go now?
Sting has a 9-0 record in AEW.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Fantastic stuff, Sting. The Elite versus... To be determined, but we assume it is Hangman and the Dark Order in the inaugural Trios Championship. I think I could see, we suggest Ospreay costing them the match. That could happen. Either way, both teams would be great first champions.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Dark Order. It kind of reminds me of, putting the titles the first time on Kaz and Scorpio. When you think, it's going to be the Bucks, just put it on the Bucks.
Yeah.
I think it would... I kind of feel Dark Order deserve it. I think they've been a great act and kind of forgotten about. And the three of them together are always really entertaining.
Yeah.
And especially if you're doing Kenny and Ospreay as a singles, I kind of don't like it when you're doing... when you're in a singles feud and you're a champion or something else. It kind of holds that title a little hostage.
Yeah.
So I'd go with Dark Order here.
I would agree. As much as the Elite are definitely my favorite wrestlers to watch week by week and all that stuff for years now. So therefore I'm changing my answer. The Elite are winning.
You're going with the Elite.
But it makes way more sense. I love both of these teams. So I'm either way definitely happy with an outcome there. So I just think it'll be awesome to see these guys go. And great rub for Silver and Reynolds. They've definitely stepped up. And then for the past while, just been forgotten about. So it is good that they get the pay-per-view slot. Something I noticed about this pay-per-view, it's got a lot of AEW originals.
It does. Yeah, it's got a lot of first-time pay-per-view matches as well.
For a lot of people.
Acclaimed and Starks, in a big role, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so it's got a lot of the actual pillars of this company being featured heavily, and I think that's pretty sweet. So it's not so no one's gonna be like, oh, they're doing the WWE kind of thing. It's no, they're really not. You get a good mix of everything in this, but Yeah. Oh, and then CM Punk, John Moxley.
Yeah, it's
gotta be Punk for like so many storyline reasons.
I'm
but
sure Tony Khan has planned out in his head right when he won the title the first time.
Yeah.
What his feuds were going to be.
Right.
Maybe a Danielson match, maybe MJF coming back, like all of that. But I feel Moxley's had such a great run.
Yeah.
He feels hotter
Yeah, he
right
does.
now.
He is.
And I kind of think him beating Punk in Chicago would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think Punk probably makes more sense though if you've got all these plans.
It makes so much sense, and you can go the MJF thing. MJF could attack him afterwards, set that up for the feud. That could be a thing. But you're absolutely right. Mox is such a more over thing because of the situation the past while. He's the father that stepped up and took on this role as this killer, and he's totally nailed it.
It's also for Punk to have this thing today where he was like, I don't know if I love it anymore and all that, and kind of teasing leaving to then being fired up to go to the match to then lose. It's like, do you go back to that? I could see them pulling the trigger on a heel turn with Punk.
Ooh.
Like he's been leaning into it anyway.
Yeah.
I could see him cheat to beat Mox.
But if he cheats, then it's like you can't do the feud with MJF and stuff. But
MJF comes back as a babyface.
I was right all along.
He was a babyface when he left. Like that last promo he did.
Yeah.
Like people were cheering him, and I think distance makes the heart grow fonder. Mm-hmm. He's gonna get a huge reaction when he returns. And Mox has only lost once, right, to Kenny.
Yeah.
Isn't that his only loss? And that was being screwed over the title. I could see you kind of doing the same thing here.
Interesting. I mean, the crowd's going to cheer for Punk winning.
The crowd will cheer, whatever. But
yeah.
I think Mox is a strong enough babyface in other places where, I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I would go with Punk.
Yeah, it's super interesting. I'm super hyped for their pay-per-views. Their pay-per-views are always worth the money, honestly. Their pay-per-views always deliver. They always over-deliver. This should be quite a fun, stacked show, and look for our review when we go live after the show on Sunday with John Away at Post Wrestling on their YouTube, and we'll be having a whole lot of fun. So join in on the chat after the show if you're staying up Sunday night to watch it, and hear us talk all about it.
Come join us for our watch-along for Worlds Collide this Sunday at
4 p.m.
4 p.m.
4 p.m. We're going to watch so much. I'm going to be wrestled out. I'm taking a break from wrestling.
We're going to be watching...
we're going to wrestling.
We're going to be watching 19 matches. No, 20 matches, I think, on Sunday.
And then we're going to Dynamite.
2 shows. And then we're going to Dynamite. That'll be fun.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
We love it.
Hey, guys, thank you so much for checking us out. Go follow all the socials. Every like, RT, Apple Podcast review, all that stuff. Is greatly appreciated. And hey, go check us out if you mess around with the boys. Patreon.com/upNXT. $5 a month, North American tier. You get so many podcasts that equals 2 pennies per shows, and there's so much out there. Wrestling reviews, movie reviews, everything. You use the RSS feed, it goes right into your podcast app on your phone. It's like work, baby. It's so much great, fun,
good shit.
Content stuff. I'm so excited. Thank you guys. That's it. That's all. I myself, Braden Herrington. I'm on Twitter and Instagram. I'm at the Brady.
And I am at Davie Portman.
Gonna have to ask Dickie to help send that record now.
Yes.
So thank you, Dickie. Thank you guys for listening. That's it. That's all. Take care. Goodbye. Be safe. And we'll see you when it's all out.
Ahoy!
First time in a long time, but it seems like just yesterday when we were side by side. Beast mode, no one's blocking our way. These other guys tried it, but them man ain't got the skills of Braden and Davie, brazen and raging, bringing you the thrills and spills. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady, DVP, the BDElite. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady, DVP, the BDElite.